It may be hard to believe, but there's been more than 350 episodes of television set in the Walking Dead universe. Also, Hell's Kitchen has been on the air for 20 years, with its 24th season airing right now, bringing the episode count just ahead of The Walking Dead. While the ratings these days have cooled off more than a salmon sitting on the pass waiting for garnish, back in 2008 it was a massive hit. And like every TV show or movie that has some semblance of popularity, they made a video game about it. Published by Ubisoft, Hell's Kitchen the game was released in late 2008 for Wii and DS after 11 months of development. And like any good chicken dish, everyone knows that the shorter the cooking time, the better the final product. For the DS version, it's surprisingly graphically strong, at least when it comes to Gordon Ramsay. He's animated extremely well, swears at you with his bulldog face regularly, and his voice is clear enough through those 20-year-old speakers.
Not good so far. I'm a very proud man.
And that's where my praise of the design ends. Instead of playing through a competition show where you face off against other contestants who were chosen for their potential incompetence in the kitchen, like the show it's based on, Hell's Kitchen the game sees you running the entirety of Hell's Kitchen. You're the maitre d', waiter, busboy, and chef all at once, meaning it's a management sim, not a video game version of a reality show. Except all you do is tap a couple spaces on the bottom screen to seat guests and take their order. Then you tap a couple colored bowls, wait for the annoying animation to complete, and play Simon Says. Things can get a little hectic when there's a full dining room, but I gotta tell ya, the gameplay is worse than my ex-wife's risotto. On the plus side, Gordon Ramsay and his forehead wrinkles get extra mad at you when you fail. Except for the first hour of the game, things are so easy you have to go out of your way to fail. And the gameplay is so boring that it takes real effort to stay awake, which is the complete opposite of actually being in Hell's Kitchen. Because when Gordon Ramsay's yelling at you in real life, at least you get to be near him and smell him. So I moved on to the Wii version, since obviously that will have higher production values and stronger gameplay, right? Unfortunately, no. While I was expecting to soil myself as a 480p Gordon Ramsay held up 2 pieces of bread to the screen and called me an idiot sandwich, what I got was a 4x3 screen accompanied by silence. Despite Gordon Ramsay welcoming you to Hell's Kitchen, the small indie company Ubisoft couldn't afford to pay him to read out these handful of sentences. Because that's what you bought a Hell's Kitchen video game for, reading. As I continued on, I discovered that, to my utter dismay, the Wii version is the exact same game as the DS one. There wasn't any extra money pumped into this one or any good new insults programmed in. Instead, Gordon just repeats the same 5 or so phrases when you begin a dinner service, when you finish a dinner service, when you do well, or when you start to flounder. I don't understand how somebody was given the green light for a Hell's Kitchen video game, and the best they could come up with was Simon Says while you use chicken and bread to make chocolate chip cookies. Obviously, this was designed as a quick cash grab. Or it was just a marketing ploy, as there's a teaser for Season 5 in here as a bonus video. Because ads apparently are a bonus, which is why you should never skip them, especially on YouTube. So they rushed this game out for cheap to release before Season 5 in case the ratings tanked and it was cancelled. Except 17 years later, it's still going. Hell, I remember when they aired a season in 2021 filmed pre-lockdown because Fox keeps these things in a can for years as a safety precaution, in case classics like Alcatraz, Dollhouse, Son of Zorn, Almost Human, Ghosted, and Pitch don't do well in the ratings. As for the gameplay on the Wii version, I guess I'll repeat myself since that's what the dev did. People show up to the lectern, you aim the Wii remote at the glowing light, and tap A. It's much different than tapping a touchscreen. Then you tap the blue light at their table, move to the kitchen, prepare the ingredients, and throw them all together while the game does everything for you. This is literally just a tapping and dragging simulator. That could still be fun if the tension of, being somewhere called Hell's Kitchen was cranked up like an oven when you want to cook something faster. Except the first week is an abomination. Even though you obtain enough stars after 4 days to unlock the next rank, you have to finish all 7 days as a dishwasher who for some reason prepares all the meals. Yeah, that makes as much sense as Donald Trump firing people on a show billed as a job interview. Of course, aside from adding a third dish and a third table, the gameplay never progresses. It's just Gordon Ramsay with his wrinkled basset hound forehead standing there with his arms crossed, occasionally spouting the same footful of phrases over and over.
Are we ready? Try a little bit harder. Congratulations. Hallelujah. I'm a very proud man. Let's go, yes? Unbelievable. How are you feeling?
Finally, when Week 2 begins, instead of getting a black jacket or moving from the blue kitchen to the red kitchen to help a team that's getting pounded more than some raw meat, you become an apprentice. Except everything's the same as when you were a dishwasher. The only difference is that they throw a cooking quest at you without saying 2 dishes on each side need to be completed at the same time. Though I guess there is a new 4th option in the kitchen, meat, to really bam those desserts up. In the game's defense, things can start to get a little hectic. But whereas the producers on the TV show would turn off stoves randomly and wake the contestants up after 2 hours of sleep by banging pots and pans to ensure they sucked at their job, everything here's too forgiving. I could be 5 seconds late on one half of a dish and it doesn't really matter. I want Gordon to stick a fork in my juicy rump and tell me I'm done. I don't want a half-hearted bleep swear word, especially when I still get a perfect 5 stars at the end. I know it seems like I'm complaining about this game a lot, probably because I am. But I came in with, well, not high hopes, but hopes that at least I do a good job and Gordon Ramsay would take off my chef's jacket and douse me in gravy while whispering in my ear that I'm his little beef Wellington. Instead, I got whatever the hell this is. Honestly, it feels like the people who made this game never watched a single episode of Hell's Kitchen. They were just told by higher-ups that it's about a British guy who yells at people making food in a kitchen and they printed that on a disc. I mean, there isn't even the theme song playing at any point. I know they fizzled it out in recent seasons to cut costs, but I wanted to get fired up. That's just the start of the disappointing sound design. All you get are these canned Ramsay sayings that play on a loop, typically regardless of what's actually happening. There's no scallops walking, or how long is my meat, or behind, or 6 covers, table 20, 2 Wellington, 2 lamb, 2 halibut, how long? And there's nothing close to resembling challenges where Gordon blindfolds you, puts something in your mouth, and you have to guess if it's a zucchini or a banana or a juicy sausage. On the whole being a video game thing, even when it comes to the most basic things like graphics and character design, they fail. The background is just a PNG, or I guess a JPEG since the game's so old, while the customer models repeat way too often. And the progression is horrific. Even if you have enough stars to leapfrog the next unlockable level, you still have to complete the current one, then the next one. It's a disgusting way to artificially extend your playtime, making you think that $40 wasn't wasted. Finally, after disappointing Gordon with a 3-star performance and not getting spanked with a pizza paddle, I became a junior cook for a week, even though I was talented enough to be a cook. That's when I truly experienced the wrath of Ramsay. It was another random skills competition thing. Except I wasn't made aware that the ovens were added to the mix far away from Gordon's beautiful face.
That's absolute rubbish. Get it in the bin. Don't even touch another thing in this kitchen.
Naturally, I aced the retest, went into another dinner service, and found that blue was added to my list of ingredients. Except no oven though. Because what they teach you in game dev school on the first day is to introduce a new mechanic, then not use it afterwards. Despite a couple of 5-star performances with 5 ingredients and starters, mains, and desserts across 4 tables, it was getting tough. Problem is, the gameplay never evolves. It's just 1 extra ingredient or 1 extra table. It's not, oh, now you need to use the Wii remote to chop these vegetables. Or you need to put your ear up to the remote speaker so Gordon can whisper what he's going to do to you with his baguette in the walk-in later. Aside from the pointer aspect, the Wii-ness is an afterthought. As a result, the controls are a little inaccurate. Multiple times I selected the bottom table when I wanted to serve the dish, and it's a terrible design decision to make the waiter light blue and the highlight color of the Wii remote a slightly darker blue. After another hour of mundane gameplay equivalent to a hard mode just giving bosses more HP, I became a cook. This was accompanied by a half-hearted text scrawl Gordon couldn't have been bothered to read out loud. Despite being just 6 stars away from senior chef, I had to endure 6 more boring as hell dinner services that were exactly like the other 20-ish dinner services up to this point, just slightly longer. On day 25, I turned in a poor 2-star performance. Instead of eating my ass, Gordon simply asked, "How are you feeling?" like we're on MasterChef Junior or something. No, I want you to ream me out and make me feel small and tell me I'm worthless while you step on me. I don't want kindness. Finally, on day 27, I earned the opportunity to cook with the 6th and final ingredient, black. It was an emotional moment where I started tearing up. Forget Return of the King when Theoden shows up to save the day. This is the greatest sequence in entertainment history. Because I was so numb to happiness at this point, I watched Much Games' full playthrough to see what happens in the final week. Well, after 90 minutes of doing the exact same crap as the previous 3+ hours, Gordon doesn't say anything when you win. You just have to read another text blurb revealing that apparently it was your restaurant the entire time and not Hell's Kitchen. Like, what? Also, you never get more than 6 ingredients, 3 burners, and 1 oven and dinner service. So I made the executive chef decision to stop playing at that point because, oh my god, I would have gone insane if I continued. Well, more insane. You know, for someone famous for yelling at people who do a bad job, it's crazy to me that Gordon Ramsay let something of this poor quality walk out the door. He wouldn't serve crap on a plate in one of his restaurants, so why is he giving it to us in a video game? If I didn't know any better, I'd say this was originally a different game, then Ubisoft decided to slap Gordon Ramsay and Hell's Kitchen on the cover and try to trick people into buying it. To wrap things up like meat in a sausage, if I might speak directly to Gordon Ramsay for a second, this is one Hell's Kitchen that should never be opened.
Good. Well done.